This hourly segment is sponsored by Garden Sense, airing Sundays 12 noon to 1 p.m.
One station making history every day.
Chicago, Chicago.
Now, Jake Hartford.
89. Will you fight? No! We will run! And we will live.
Shame on you. This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst.
And I guarantee a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of you.
Well, I'm not going home.
We've got too far! And I'm gonna stay right here and fight for this lost cause. A day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
You're gonna work harder than you ever worked before.
But that's fine, we'll just get tougher with it.
If a person grits his teeth and shows real determination,
failure is not an option.
That's how winning is done.
Believe me when I say
We can break this army here.
And win just one for the Gipper.
But I say to you, what every warrior has known since the beginning of time,
You've got to get mad.
I mean plumb mad dog mean.
if you would be free men, then you must
fight to fulfill that promise. Let us cut out their living guts
1 inch at a time.
And they will know what we can do!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions.
You're like a big bear, man.
This is your time.
Seize the day. Never surrender.
Victory or death.
That's the Chicago.
Who's with me?
Clap! Clap! Don't let him die! Clap!
All right, let's fly. And gentlemen in England, now abed, shall know my name is the Lord. When I tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our Independence Day.
7:09, 7:09. Hour number 3 of Awake with Jake. Paul Bryant coming up at 8 o'clock with Drive Chicago. It's a Memorial Weekend. Give thanks to all those who have given their lives so we can be free. Listen to this radio station, 89 WLS. The parade kicks off. The parade kicks off at noon today downtown. If you're coming down for the parade, at noontime is the time. And General Petraeus, David Petraeus, head of the CIA, former big war guy, Army guy, it will be down there for it. So you got that going for you. I got in the mail yesterday at the house, this envelope, kind of like about 8 inches across and whatever. In the upper left-hand corner, it said President Barack Obama. And I open it up, and there's a letter addressed to me, right? First name and everything. And a picture. I'm holding the picture up so all could see. And it says, picture of the president says, I value your ongoing support. Signed, Barack. Huh? I don't want to bore you with the details of the letter. At least he didn't tell me about Bain Capital. I just, you know what? I figured this whole campaign out. They are appealing to the stupid. Going for people who aren't going to pay much attention or just hear little sound bites here and there. Because this whole argument about what a venture capital company does, and this whole idea of Romney wouldn't be a good president because he's been in business, and the country's not about running a business; it's about making sure people feel good. Did you hear what Joe Biden said the other day? If I were a plumber, I'd be very unhappy. This is the Biden quote of the week. This is why today is Biden Day on this show. He always says interesting things. Listen to what he said the other day.
Your job as president is to promote the common good. That doesn't mean the private equity guys are bad guys. They're not. But that no more qualifies you to be president than being a plumber. It doesn't, and by the way, there are a lot of awful smart plumbers. All kidding aside, it's not the same job requirement.
And that begs the question, what is the job requirement? What is it? This whole thing about private equity companies are bad, this and that. You know what private equity companies do? They invest money where banks may not want to invest. Companies that are going bankrupt, are already in bankruptcy, they come around and they keep the company from being dissolved. I mean, there was a case in Chicago this year of a pizza chain where all the franchisees would have been in big trouble. It went to bankruptcy court, had an auction. Some venture capitalists came in, invested the money, paid whatever the debt was, and they're running the company, trying to get it up on, running again. There's a lot of those because what in some cases, if a company's in bankruptcy and you don't get somebody to come in and take over the assets and run the company, well, there is no more company. They'll just sell off the property, and then everybody loses their jobs. It's not about keeping jobs; it's about keeping the company going. So there are people that will have jobs. And this whole argument, it's just the president's co-chair of his reelection campaign, Federico Pena, he's part of a big venture capital company. And he's been involved in I think it was Del Monte where they had to lay people off, and Solo Cups where they had to lay people off. And it just, I hear this stuff and it just drives me nuts. I mean, I don't know what the requirement is to be president. But if you had a choice between Obama and Romney, say to run an ice cream stand, who would you pick? Put it in those terms. You know what's nice about being president? You can do whatever you want, right? You can get an Air Force One, go anywhere you want in the world, anywhere. And while you're traveling, say you're going to Australia, and you figure, wait, I'm flying to Australia. I'm going to watch all the episodes of 2.5 Men and How I Met Your Mother and Big Bang Theory and Everybody Loves Raymond and Cheers. Well, you know what? If you're flying and you haven't watched all those episodes and you don't want to land, you can just keep flying until you want to land. They'll refuel Air Force One up in the air. It doesn't have to come down for a month. It could just keep going because you're the president. Anywhere you want, you can go. Australia, Africa, Europe, South America. We're in Colombia. Off my plane. We're in Colombia. The hookers are optional. Anywhere you want as president. So I read Snead yesterday in the Chicago Sun-Times. And the first story is, Snead is told President Barack Obama wanted to spend a little time at his Kenwood home during the recent NATO summit, but was told he couldn't because access roads to his home had been shut down. Apparently he can go anywhere in the world, he can't go home. He doesn't have the authority to go down those closed roads. What is that? How did his neighbors get home? The people that live on the north side of his house and the people on the south side of his house and the people across the street, how did they make it home last week? All the roads that were closed, and they had stuff closed and they never reported on the news, on TV. Tried getting out of the loop last week. The outbound Ryan, the ramps at Roosevelt were closed. 18th Street was closed. And apparently he couldn't get to his Kenwood house. It's just something. It really is. You can go anywhere in the world, but you can't go home, I guess. Jim and Mokina. Jim, you're on 89 WLS.
Good morning. I thank you for making the comment and bringing up to people's attention about what private equity firms do when they invest in companies. And it really hits home because I am a franchisee of a pizza company in Chicago. And I used to employ about 120 people during another president's administration. Now I'm down to about employing 45 people. And most of those people that I employ, we are the last defense in this economic crisis. I used to employ predominantly minimum wage high school kids. Now I'm employing carpenters, electricians, crane operators. And a lot of these guys, they're number 2,500 on the list to go back to work. So to me, the choice is clear on if it's what kind of president I'm going to support. But I'm more aghast is kind of the Kool-Aid. I think what people are drinking here. I mean, this economy is just in shambles.
And it's, you know what, there's a huge tax increase coming the first of the year. And if that goes through, we're going to be in another recession.
You know what? I would beg to differ. You know, we got a bump like coming out of the Christmas season when gas was low in the $3, but the minute it hits $4 a gallon again, I mean, I've seen my sales slump. My customer base, all they're just saying is, hey, we love your pizza, we love ordering from you, your service is impeccable. But we just can't afford it. We don't have the money.
Well, when you fill up your vehicle and you're putting an extra $15 to $20 in because of the gas prices, that's $15 or $20 can go for a pizza.
Exactly. And I guess people, especially in Illinois, after the first of the year, all the tolls went up. So if you're on a fixed income and you take these $20, $30, $50 hits, people's tax bills come out. I just believe this economy is running on, especially me as a business owner. I have poured my assets into my company. I have 3 pizza franchises. I have to work a second full-time job. I have a nursing degree.
What franchise do you have, Jim?
I have Nancy's Pizza.
Oh, good pizza.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's great pizza, and we used to sell a lot of it. And I know in a time, and I've seen both sides of the equation. When you have people back to work, it's real simple. They're spending money, they add to the tax base, and that's what our country was founded on, the American dream. And I believe right now they're trying to redefine the American dream, and it is not the American dream that I grew up with. And I think Memorial Day is, we really, we thank those who serve, but we really have a great, great country, and we have a great Bill of Rights and a Constitution. And I really think we need to take a step back and really look at what we're doing here. I mean, look at the big picture.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
All right. God bless you. Bye.
7:19. Back to your calls right after this on 89 WLS.